Everyone. Good evening and welcome to this special meeting of the Wall Township Board of Education meeting for Wednesday, November 29th. Please join me in welcoming our Wall High School NNDCC Color Guard for the flag salute.
Carried. Colors. Ready, go. Right, face. Forward, march.
Thank you. This time I'm going to ask our board secretary, Mr. Smythe, to please read the sunshine announcement and perform roll call.
Good evening. This is the Wall Township Board of Education meeting for which adequate notice under the Open Public Meeting Act was provided by notice to the CoStar, Asbury Park Press, all Wall Township Public Schools, Township Clerk's Office, and in the Wall Board of Education office on November 22nd, 2023. Take a roll call. Mr. Anizio?
Here.
Mr. Buffa?
Here.
Ms. DiGiovanni?
Here.
Ms. Hodnett? Mr. Maliff?
Here.
Mr. Nasser?
Here.
Mr. Sanfilippo?
Here.
Mr. Wondrak?
Here.
Ms. Stites?
Here. Thank you very much. At this time, I'm going to be opening the floor for public comment on, first we're going to be doing agenda action items. As this is a special meeting, we're going to be flip-flopping public comment this evening. So our first public comment will be on agenda action items, please. If you have anything that you'd like to share, please come up to the podium.
Mary Connors, Wall Township. Kind of feel weird saying thank you before anything happened, but kind of just want to say thank you to the board for taking action and putting a priority and following through and getting us here tonight, as well as, in addition, calling a special meeting prior to Academy Night, so that the Service and Leadership Academy and the NNDCC can be properly represented at Academy Night. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have anyone else for public comment on agenda action items?
Across, I live in Wall. I hope you got the microphone fixed, because at the last meeting you couldn't hear the majority of the meeting. So hopefully you got the audio working correctly tonight. So I think it's important. Another thing is you can't flip-flop when you want to do a public comment. You can't say, oh, tonight I'm going to do it on this, on action items, and next week I'm going to change it back and do something else.
Mrs.
You did
Cross,
the same thing last
this is
week.
public comment for
Yeah, and you can't
change.
you can't flip-flop. So I'm just reminding you, you cannot do that. So you should know that as the president. You can't flip-flop.
We actually can. Thank you, Mrs. Cross. So
No,
do you
you
have
can't.
anything for the
I do.
agenda action, please?
I'm very
Thank you.
glad that you hired this gentleman. It would have been nice if you had his name printed out and you had it over here in the HR report, but it's not there. So Mr. Jackets, I'm not even sure how to say it. but I'm glad you finally are taking action and doing that tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have anyone else for public comment for agenda action items? Okay, seeing none, we'll be closing the floor for public comment. At this time, we're going to be moving, well, first I'll ask, does anyone have anything for the Board of Education report? No? Okay, we're going to be moving on. May I have may I have a motion to accept the superintendent's report, number 5, the human resources report?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Mr. Sampleville, Mr. Adonisio? Mr. Smythe, roll call, please.
Mr. Anisio.
Yes.
Mr. Buffer.
Yes.
Ms. DiGiovanni.
Yes.
Mr. Mallett.
Yes.
Mr. Nasser.
Yes.
Mr. Sanfilippo.
Yes.
Mr. Wondrak.
Yes.
Ms. Stites.
Yes, thank you. At this time, I'm going to be turning the floor over to Dr. Handrahan to say a few words, please.
Thank you, Ms. Stites. Tonight is a very special evening. We will be introducing Wall High School's new vice principal, and we will also be welcoming and introducing our teacher of military science. So without any further ado, I would like to share a few words about Mr. David Bender. Mr. David Bender, through the process, made an incredible impact through all of the interview committees. And I'll speak a little bit about my impressions. And before even meeting Mr. Bender, I was taken back by some of the words that I had read in his cover letter, and I'd like to share them with you. As you walk out of my office, there is a quote on the wall that says, quote, unquote, "Take care of your people." This is the quote I use to steer my actions every day as an administrator. I wanted to become an administrator so that I could help my students and staff and hopefully drive positive change within a school. Those words stuck with me, and when I finally got to meet Mr. Bender, there's two words that I walked away from our meeting, and the two words are sincerity and genuine. And those are the two qualities that I felt as I walked away from the meeting. So without, I don't want to steal all the thunder, but at this time, I would like to welcome Mr. Bender to the podium to share a few words. Mr. Bender?
Thank you, Dr. Handrahan, for the kind words. I just want to say thank you. I appreciate the opportunity. It's my 21st year in education, and I've never really had an opportunity to work in my own community, and that was why this job was so intriguing to me. I live in town. I did coach here at one point, but I'm really excited to work with Dr. Handrahan, Mr. Davis, and to try to bring as much as I can, much positivity to Wall as I can. So thank you very much. I really appreciate you bringing me out tonight, and I look forward to being here for a long time. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bender. Next, I'd like to introduce Colonel Richard Jacks. Colonel Jacks, as he's approaching the podium, I would very much like to say a few things about you. In particular, Colonel Jacks is he has an extensive military record, and as we spend time together, that will very much present itself. But in particular, he is a very experienced and very dedicated ROTC instructor, junior ROT instructor. And I just want to share a little bit with you. Colonel Jacks at one point stepped into an NNDCC program with 22 cadets. And in a little over 5 years, that program grew to be over a 100-person unit. And within that unit, there were 6 NJROTC competitive teams and recruited, and he was actively recruiting 40 cadets per year. It is through passion, it is through commitment that these programs grow, and that is the passion and that is the commitment that we're just so excited to see, with our students and with our really with our community as a whole in this position. So I'm so grateful you're here this evening. I know you had quite a drive, but I would like to thank you for your continued service to our country and now to the students of Wall High School. So, Colonel Jacks.
Thank you. It's a real honor and privilege to be here. I see some familiar faces. Mr. Adonisio was actually my boss when I was an EMT, and he was the captain of the South Wall Squad. I'll give you an adage that a boss of mine said when I had to give a brief, and it was to congressional people. And I said, what do I say? He said, be brief, be bright, and be gone. I don't know if I can be brief, but it's difficult for me to talk a little bit about myself because you kind of saw it up here. In the Marine Corps, in boot camp, if you use the word I, you will do push-ups for a long time. And we're taught to use the third person. Our service magazine does not have any pictures with names on it except if you're a general officer. But if I come up here and say hello, thank you, and sit down, you're going to say, what are we getting? A little bit about me. I've been in Wall for close to 30 years. I've coached through all the programs. My 2 children have gone to school here, 2015 and 2017. I talked to some of the security officers to see if they remembered. My daughter was the golden child. My son's a great kid, but to see if they remembered my son, Sasha. So I think we're good. And then somebody said, well, they may remember you. I said, I hope not. A little bit about me. I'm a 36-year Marine, largely, I've done both reserve duty and otherwise. My claim to fame was I kept 750,000 people free and throughout the 3rd or 2nd, depending on what week it is, terrorists in the world. Then it was in one province. Unfortunately, I have 7 people, one of whom had been captured and we assumed dead, and 6 are waiting SIV visas, which could take up to 10 years to get here. I fell into the ROTC program. I did a year at Neptune. I helped their enrollments, and I don't recruit. I let the parents make a decision, but 6 kids went into the Marine Corps. 2 are staff sergeants, and there are 2 sergeants. And so I'm very proud of that. Ben Franklin, the Navy sent me to Ben Franklin as a distressed school. I just wanted to correct the superintendent. We weren't an NNDCC. We were a unit that was going to get closed down. We were down to 21 kids, and I just said, whoa, we got to do something. And we just created an enthusiasm. It's a work in progress, but on average, I've done close to 40. I had 1 year, 2 years, I think, of 37. Never had a problem in COVID. And this year, I literally had my kids try to recruit, and we did 53 kids. And what makes it different is we try to make it fun. So I want to talk to the parents for your kids and spread the word. I'm not here to recruit your children. This is a citizenship program. It's a leadership program, and I've made it into a personal development program. So the guarantee I'll make to parents is you will have a better child. They will be self-directed, self-disciplined, and self-reliant. Who doesn't want that? And I don't have a magic answer. I have 2 kids. And trust me, growing up, and sometimes even now on any other week, but if we just keep at it, the second thing is they're going to have the values of the Marine Corps and the Navy, which is honor, courage, and commitment. So again, what's wrong with that picture? For your child, I try to make it fun. Somebody said in the interview process, how do you recruit? I stand outside my room and I have a drone. And the kid says, what's that? It's a drone. You do that stuff? Yeah. Come on in. And it's not a recreational program. But by the end of it, he's doing friction coefficients and coefficients of lift. And this is a kid who hates math. And we debunk math, and sometimes we get helicopter pilots to come in and talk to them. And so we try to make it fun. It's a family. For your child, especially for freshmen, but we're going to put a group together, and you have a great, from what I understand, great kids here now, but we want to grow it so that if you have problems with algebra, algebra 2, trigonometry, calculus, somebody there is pretty good, and we can help out. It'll give a chance for freshmen, like they do now, to hang with seniors. I once asked a senior when I was a freshman, he said, why are you talking to me? You can't talk to me. So it's a family, and we're a team. Last is a uniform. That can be a tough one. I can't get around that. I'd like to have a boat at the Shark River, and I'd like us to scrub it and stand inspection, but the Navy says, I have units in Harrisburg. We have a naval uniform. You have to wear it. And there's ways we can do it, and there's a whole bunch of things, but that's something I can't yield on. Haircuts, I'll announce it here. I mean, I had a son who thought he was Samson as a senior. You know, he had that bowl cut, and I said, Sasha, you're a heck of a lot better looking than that bowl cut. What did he do the first semester of college? He looks, by the way, my son looks exactly like James Franklin. I mean, he gets stopped all the time. But you do not have to have haircuts. The Navy says haircuts are not mandatory. So to increase recruiting, I will waive haircuts for the time being, and we'll see how that goes. What do I want to do? Quickly, I want to recruit. Everybody here talk to somebody. I followed the co-star and I watched the board meetings, which now I'm on camera. But I saw where somebody said, I can bring 50 people. Do it. Let me help. Let me talk to parents. Bust through it. I would love to have classes of 40 climbing up the wall saying we don't have enough room. We'll figure that one out. And second is teams. The minimum of 4 teams I want to have, it's actually a little bit more. It's going to be the color guard. I've done color guards for everything but baby showers. And what I do is I try to make it fun where kids get out of class. But then I say, well, I have to look at your grades and I have to look at your attendance. And you're not doing real well in pre-calc, and you're going to go to college. You know, and we gently try to bring them around. So don't tell anybody any secrets. We'll have a color guard, we'll have an unarmed drill and an armed drill. I just hung up with a Zoom call. Area 4, which is now it's still area 3 now. They just changed it. I mean, we have tournaments and everything forever. The Area 4 championships are going to be over here at Colts Neck in January. If we can get the color guard to go and just compete in that, I don't care if you fall. Don't worry about it. It's just that we're there. The second thing is marksmanship. This once had a great marksmanship program. You'll see, I don't like wearing this because it's just like, really? But Marine Corps is very proud of its marksmanship. We are the only service with a rifle that fires at 500 yards. The corporal in the back will tell you the first time you look at the rifle range from 500 yards, you see the targets. It's just like, I can't even see my number. What do they want me to hit? It's actually the easiest of the course. And marksmanship is a great equalizer. We can take a freshman. I saw a kid at Neptune getting picked on. He was small. I looked at him, and I'm a little bit high energy, and I apologize. But I said, "You want to be a rock star?" "Yeah." "How?" I said, "I can get you on a marksmanship team. Your name will be in the paper more than the quarterback." "Really?" "Yeah. What do I have to do? Just listen to us. Breathe, relax, aim, slack, squeeze. We'll do it." And I haven't been to, because we're not allowed to have a marksmanship team in Philadelphia because of well, it's not gun violence, it's murders. And I don't like that, and I'm trying to change it. I have, the superintendent asked to speak to me. He doesn't know I'm leaving yet. But marksmanship is a great equalizer. It's a tremendous sport. We're not here to teach martial things in junior ROTC. That's my other promise I make to you. We're not going to do punishment PT. We're not going to do any crazy stuff. There will be no hazing. And I didn't do it when I was in the Marine Corps. We don't have to, okay? It's called small unit leadership. But marksmanship is a great thing to know, and gun safety is a great thing to know. And everything I've read is that the guys who are the coaches and run everything are so excited because they see kids as freshmen. And all of a sudden they hit that growth spurt and they go to the tournament and they're scoring and they're just like, wow, this is good. Also, I know from, and I'll be quick in closing, I know there's a lot of concerns with scholarships. You can get a scholarship with marksmanship. It's an Olympic event. There are almost as many scholarships for marksmanship as there are for football. So it's a great equalizer. It's a great thing to do. Last is we're going to have a physical fitness team. And possibly, if you all come up with 5 people, I'll do a drone team. We'll figure it out. If you come up with 5 to 7 people, I'll do a robotics team. We'll find the money, we'll do it, and we'll figure it out. So we want to have fun. Last, I talked to the parents. What do I need from you? 1, give me a chance. Don't shoot me first. 2, I will give to the anchor, and you have my phone here. Call me. I'm more than happy to talk. If I misstep or you believe something, we can talk it out, because I work for the school system, but I ultimately work for the taxpayer. And I pay wall taxes, so I know what they're worth. Last is, I want to read quickly. We talked about giving a chance, and my thing, and I'll be done in a second, Doctor, is I don't want to do the same thing over and over again and expect a different result. We're not going to be radical. This isn't George Patton or General Mattis. You know, the things I'm doing is I studied over the years. First thing I did is I went to 2 units. One was cul-de-sac, and the other is Southard, where my now boss, who was my mentor, Commander Humphreys, works. And I said, what will get the program closed down? He said, low numbers, man. I said, you mean I can take, like, people, I joke. As long as somebody has a uniform and shows up for school once in a while, that's it. So that's what we have to overcome. The Navy is not happy with us. We have to make numbers. And what I'd like to do is just break through their numbers far in advance of what they thought. But I'll read you this, and this comes from, I'm not going to read the whole thing. Goals. I want to set a goal of excellence. I'd like us to go from the most improved unit, then I'd like to do a noteworthy unit, which is you achieve some excellence, and then I'd like to do a unit achievement. That's a big deal. You put a streamer on the Navy colors in the back, and you're able to carry that. At one time, this town had over 150, I'm told 180. If we did it once, we can do it again. Last, I will read, this is from one of my cadets, and by the way, I want to talk about why I'm here quickly. I can stay where I am. It's a long drive, but I'm Moses. I tell parents, I can take you to the promised land, and I've been there. Why do I want to come to Wall? Because from 2002 to 2013, I was deployed for 11 years. I'm sorry, over an 11-year period. I was deployed for 5 without my family. 1 year was in Tampa and MacDill Air Force Base and also Afghanistan and Iraq. And then I did, I've even forgotten, 16 tours, 4 years in combat. But it was the Wall school system that allowed my kids to flourish. I never had a problem. I had great teachers here. And my son and my daughter, and take a 13-year-old boy and put him without a father, it's not the best day in the world. But I could always depend on this school system. That's why I'm here. It's my time to pay back to my town and to our town. So last, I'll read you Dang Nguyen. He was my worst cadet ever. I had a big classroom. I would turn my back, boom, Dang was gone. I'd call home, his mother and father were Vietnamese boat people. They couldn't speak English. Try to get a Vietnamese translator. It was impossible. I'd send letters home certified, in English. Dang knew how to get over the system. So here this is. I was a pretty bad student during my freshman and sophomore year. I would always skip class and often not pay attention. Not pay attention. His feet were on the desk, and he would literally close his eyes and just be on his phone. I managed to keep my grades at a decent level, but I would always hide from Colonel Jacks every time I skipped, and he would get disappointed with me every time I did not pay attention or would mess around. Obviously, this was bad. I was immature and did not realize what consequences this would be. Junior year, he left for another school because his parents wanted him to go somewhere closer. He's the only cadet I've never talked to about staying. I never said good riddance, I don't do that. But I just said, it just so happened I never talked to him. Then he came back senior year. He said, I really missed everyone. My experience at the other school made me realize how important my time at junior ROTC was, so I transferred right back for my senior year. This is one of my fondest memories, and I was involved in all the laughs I shared with my fellow junior ROTC friends. Especially with Colonel, I will always be grateful for the mature person he made me, as it taught me leadership skills, responsibility, importance of putting your best efforts at everything he did. Dang is now graduated from East Stroudsburg. He runs a small real estate company. What the Vietnamese do is they put all their money together and then they give it to somebody as an investment bank, and he is turning around and building houses in North Philadelphia. So in closing, I would just ask for a chance. Keep the lines of communication open. I will always recognize your better angels and talk to everybody. This is a new junior ROTC. I'm not here to send kids to the military. It's leadership, it's citizenship, and it's personal growth. So that's all I have to say. Thank you very much, and it's an honor and a privilege.
Thank you so much. We welcome both of you gentlemen to the team at Wall. We're very excited to have you to partner with us. I think you're going to find we have some outstanding teachers here. We've got outstanding staff, and our students are outstanding, and you're really going to enjoy them. And we're thrilled to have you. At this time, I would like to congratulate our folks who are write-in candidates for the Board of Education, who have earned seats here on the Board of Ed, Ms. Shimko, Ms. Barbieri, and Mr. Wondrak. We look forward to working. We look forward to working also with our new members of the board. We've got some great things that we've accomplished so far, and we continue to move the district forward. It's an exciting time to be here on Wall. We thank everybody for coming out this evening. At this time, I am going to also open the floor for second public comment on any school-related issues. So if you have anything you'd like to add, you feel free to come to the podium.
Hi, Susan McGoldrick, Wall Township. I'm the president of the Anchor Club for the Colonel, and we'd like to welcome him. We're very excited, and we look forward to a great collaboration. And I'd like to thank the Board of Ed and Dr. Handerhan and Mr. Davis for taking our concerns seriously, and you walked the walk. You didn't let us down, and I really appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Do we have anyone else for public comment?
Brought my wrong tripod. That was a great speech you just gave. That was fabulous. We need 100 of this guy, because if he does what he says he's going to do, he's going to turn out some marvelous children. My son was a Boy Scout, and it was the best thing he ever did. He talked about leadership, citizenship, and personal growth. I mean, these are some things that I wish we could actually see from the board and Brian Smythe personally. So, Ms. Stites, I've asked you over and over and over again, like simple questions. I will keep asking the questions on the trailers because you're being sued and you have a settlement coming up in December, a settlement conference. They have extended the time for depositions. And it's going to be very interesting. So thankful to the judge that he allowed that. And, you know, the truth will come out. It's taken a really long time because Brian Smythe has refused to answer questions from Dr. Cram, from Mr. Scarillo, it seems from the Monmouth County Prosecutor's Office. You can't do investigations when you don't talk to the person that actually was the business administrator at the time for the trailers. You can't. And you can't demo them during an open criminal investigation. You can't do that. And you can't not have that be a problem. You can't have mobile lease on site 3 days before the secret bid opening. You can't have mobile lease's electrician 4 days before the bid opening. It stinks. And when we get to the truth from Brian Smythe, then we can move on. Until we get there and get those answers, we're not moving on. I will come every single week like I promised you I would. And Ralph Adonisio promised we were going to be so transparent on the trailers, and he never was. He got rid of his Oprah. Michael Gross said, get rid of that. Don't put that in writing. Get rid of that Oprah. So I still have it. So I have so much information, and it's so helpful because you're not doing your job up here. You're not. No CFO gets to just say, oh, I'm sorry. I don't want to answer any questions. I'm sorry that child almost died. Too bad. Because that's where we're at. That's where you're at, and you're not doing anything about it. And I see Adam Nasser's laughing as usual. Because why?
Mrs. Cross,
what?
please direct your...
What did you
please
say? I'm a
direct your-
clown?
Okay.
So why don't you talk into the microphone and say that?
Mrs. Cross, please direct your comments to me
Okay,
as...
I don't think Adam Nasser,
you.
who just got sued and lost, you didn't win. You didn't win. The district lost. You had to turn over.
Mrs.
your-
Cross.
Where did you get those? Where did you get those Facebook
Cross.
posts from? Because you're
Mrs.
blocked
Cross,
from
your
me.
time is up.
Somebody sent them to you, and why
Thank
don't you
you,
say
Miss-
who sent them to you?
Your time is up, Mrs. Cross. Thank you. Do we have anyone else for public comment? Okay. Seeing none, we're going to close the... I'm sorry, I couldn't see him. I'm sorry.
Hello, Board of Education. How are you today? I just want to say what an incredible job that each and every one of you are doing, and I thank you from the bottom of our hearts as parents. I'm speaking on behalf of really the actual Anchor Club and for what you guys have really walked that walk. I mean, really came through, and I'm so proud to be standing up here as a parent and to say thank you, because we had a very serious issue. You guys took it upon, as champions and really made this thing happen, and happening very quickly too. I mean, that's amazing of what you guys did in such little time. And I know for a fact that this is going to be an incredible program. It's going to be really great for our kids, and we'll have the parents supporting not only the actual children, but we're going to have the parents supporting this Board of Education as well, because you guys have walked the walk. So I just wanted to say thank you from the bottom of our hearts. Yes, sir.
Just when you're done, just state your name, please, for the record.
Yes. First name is Michael, last name Attardi. I live here in Wall, of course. So again, I just want to say thank you so much, and for also bringing back people that have helped this program in the past. Brian Gillespie is a pillar of this community, and bringing him back to help out is just amazing. He's just a great guy. He really cares, and I just want to say I care, and there are parents that care, and we will be there for you guys. We will be there for the students, and we will do everything in our power to help get these kids, in a really great program that I really know that we can really build here. So thank you again, and God bless everyone. Thank you.
Again, Mary Connors, Wall Township. Welcome, Mr. Bender. Nice to meet you. I was really impressed with what you had to say, and we look forward to getting to know you better and having you build a relationship with Mr. Davis. I know the children already feel very comfortable with Mr. Davis at the helm, and I hope your relationship grows and the children grow from that relationship as well. And welcome, Colonel Jackus. Now that I'm in order, your speech was really inspiring, and I know I kept turning back to the cadets, and they all looked very intrigued and happy with what you had to say, and that's all that matters to me, is that they're happy, and all those new opportunities to come will really help the students coming up from the middle school, and I hope there's parents watching this tonight knowing that as soon as their student turns 14, they could actually be part of the NNDCC, so that even means 8th graders can join as soon as you hit your 14th birthday. I just had a couple questions. I know we had a conflict in our township schedule, so we have a meeting going on currently over at the middle school for the Genesis updates, and I have asked for a copy of any PowerPoint or presentations or handouts because I really wanted to be there, because I do have quite a few questions that I've been talking to teachers and different leaders about how we weigh our assessments, major, minor, and independent, and how many per semester we have, so that the grades are not skewed based on maybe just one major that a child gets a 70, or maybe 2 minors that they get an 80 or a 60, and then they could never come back if the independents are the majority of the grades or assessments given, and they never have a chance to come back from those low 1 or 2 minor, 1 or 2 majors. And I'm really interested to see what they have to say on that. Now, and this is something I'm going to admit I have not checked on it, but I know at one point we had a position open for an assistant business administrator to assist Mr. Smythe with the spending of our big budget increase, and I don't know that that's ever been filled or if it's been closed and reopened. So my ignorance is, have we found anybody as an assistant BA to have a second set of eyes on all the spending going on now, currently, and certainly in the future? Thank you.
Thank you. At this time, is there anyone else for public comment? Seeing none, we're going to close the floor for public comment.
With regard to the question on the assistant business administrator position, the position was posted as an accounting, we had posted an accounting manager position as well as an assistant BA position, and the position of accounting manager was filled, and that was filled last early spring.
Thank you, Ms. Stites. I would just like to reiterate that tonight is an exciting night for Wall High School, and I am super excited. 2024 is looking, 2023 is finishing really strong, and 2024, just watch out. I think that's a... watch out.
Okay.
Ms. Seitz?
Yes, Ms.
I
DiGiovanni.
just wanted to make a point of clarification. There's been a lot of discussion about a lawsuit pending involving the trailers. Of course, the Board of Education is not involved in the handling of that lawsuit. But I just want to point out, being a practicing attorney here in Monmouth County, that December 14th is a county-wide settlement day. Hundreds upon hundreds of cases have been called in by the Monmouth County judges. They're calling in extra judges, reserve judges. I personally have 10 cases on for settlement conference that day. I did not choose those cases. They do not mean that the defense is ready to offer a settlement on those cases. They were called in by the court merely based upon the age of the case. So they figure, hey, we'll bring in these cases that have been pending for a year, year and a half, and let's see what happens. They do this twice a year. So to say that there's a settlement conference is, yes, it's factually accurate, but it does not mean that there will be any kind of a settlement or anyone's ready to discuss settlement. It's just the court bringing in older cases to try to move dockets, just so that we're clear.
Thank you, Ms. DiGiovanni. I appreciate that clarification. Excuse me in the crowd. I would like to mention that the Anchor Club, which is a booster club for NNDCC, does have a Facebook page. So if there are parents out there who are interested in getting more involved and getting some more information, I'm sure they'd be happy to work with you. And the board certainly supports your efforts and your endeavors. At this time, I believe this concludes our business for this evening. So may I please have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make the motion.
I beg your pardon?
Second.
Okay, first and second, all in favor? Thank you. Everybody have a great couple weeks, and we'll see you back in December.